Ah. Annie, I'll put Jack's card in the middle, shall I?
You arrange it how you like.
You know, I think we're going to get more than ever this year. It's still nearly a week to go to Christmas, and the mantelpiece is full already.
This one must have been lying at the back of the shelf since I don't know when.
Will it be all right? It feels as hard as a rock.
Oh, Christmas puddings last forever, Dolly, if they're made right.
I don't guarantee what it'll taste like.
Yes, well, it's the fruit and the brandy. Oh, except, I mean, do you remember that year when Jacob found the bottle and you went to use it and it were empty? Oh, we went without brandy and the Christmas puddings that year. Money were tight in them days, Dolly. You thought twice about going out and getting another bottle of brandy. Still, Christmas were Christmas then.
What's that supposed to mean?
We used to sit round the fire, roasting apples, telling stories about ghosts and goblins.
Well, nothing to stop you?
Yes. Well, it's like the vicar said in church last Sunday. People have forgotten what Christmas is about.
Well, it's not about roast apples and goblins.
No, Dolly, it's not. And it's also not about folk wasting a lot of money on expensive rubbish and a lot of plastic decorations. Oh, and another thing. It always used to snow at Christmas in them days.
I thought you were going down to the village to measure up the stage for the pantomime.
I am. Later.
I've got a recipe for Christmas pudding. My grandmother's.
Oh, aye.
I threatened Matt I'd try it out on him.
Not this year. They're never so good fresh.
Would you mind if I had a go? Just a small one.
Why should I mind? Don't know when you're going to eat it, though.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll make a big one and Noel have some.
We've got enough with these four to last us.
You know, you look forward to Christmas pudding and then when Boxing Day comes, you can't face another helping. Oh.
All right, I won't make one.
No, lass, you do as you like.
No, it doesn't matter. There'll be other Christmases.
Dame Marjorie, come and see. You'll never guess what's happened in the garden. Is that right?
Hang on. What have you just said?
Oh, mate, you're supposed to be following.
Well, I don't pluck geese that often. I can do it without looking.
Dame Marjorie, come and see. You'll never guess what's happened in the garden.
What has happened in the garden?
Oh, some grape being shot up like someone's been spraying it with hormone.
Well, I don't see that's much to get excited about. Grandad's do that all the time. He's always saying, if only I could get higher bee sticks.
Mac, hey, can you concentrate on this for a moment?
Mind you, even if they grew that high, you'd never be able to pick them.
No, I give up.
Oh, well, you might as well. It's time to be going to fetch Aunt Jessie.
No, not yet. Have you decided where she's going to sleep?
Well, I don't think it's right a woman of her age sleeping on Zed bed in our attic.
Why not? She's only a little one. Hey, you're not suggesting we play general post like year before last, when Muggins had to sleep on settee and ended up with a crick neck?
No, I think that she should have our bed. Dolly could have the sofa, and I'll have the Zed bed.
Oh, not much fun for you two, is it? Your first Christmas and all.
Well, I dare say we'll manage.
I dare say you will. Have you mentioned to Dolly your idea?
I've only just thought of it now while I've been doing this.
Oh, aye.
I can't hear out. That's because they're not alight. When they're alight, they make a sort of ringing noise. You can tell which ones are going, bit noise they make.
Well, it's not much use if they stop making it when they've gone out.
How do you mean?
I can't see how it helps to find a dud bulb, that's all.
I never said it did.
You said you
I said you can tell which one is going to go.
I see. You're going to spend the whole of Christmas with your head stuck in that tree, just so as you'll know in advance which bulb is going to go.
I am not.
What then?
Mr. Wilkes, you were supposed to be decorating tree, not yourself. What have you got that lot all round you for?
Well, I spent the last half hour getting them untangled. I'm not letting them get tangled again.
I don't see why we have to have all that lot any road. Before you come here, I put a bit of holly behind clock and that were it.
Ah, and right jolly it were and all.
And decorations are not supposed to go up till Christmas Eve. That way you don't get needles all over the floor.
Hobnog.
Mr. Wilkes, I am not a Scrooge. I go out of my way to make my customers feel festive. But I hope we're not going to get like them big department stores with Father Christmas arriving in October.
Hey, Moss, Christmas is only a week away.
I know.
Sometimes I wonder whether you do.
No need to get irate, Mr. Wilkes. Just 'cause Vicar's decided as you're not going to be seen in pantomime. Not as I didn't put in a word for your mind. I told him all a giant needs is a pair of stilts.
That's not what the vicar wants. If the audience is to hear my voice booming off stage...
Oh, well, Mr. Hinton's got his own ideas, of course. Still, he did have good sense to cast me as Dame Marjorie. He persuaded me as it needed most talented actor in village.
Oh, it is a role that carries a lot of weight.
My blood, the nose. My mother being a prominent member of Bridlington Operatic.
How did that happen?
Must be a loose connection. Slightest movement in draft.
Go on, then, stick your head in and listen.
Mr. Wilkes, there's no need for you to be facetious. I've done...
If you wouldn't mind, Vicar.
Sorry, Barney. You sure you've got all you need, Sam?
Well, Vicar, if the scenery from the Littlewell WI doesn't fit, then I think the only thing to do is to make it fit.
Well, I'm not sure the good ladies of Littlewell would appreciate you sawing pieces off.
Well, Vicar, either we have scenery or we don't have scenery. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. But I don't see any point in going all the way over and lugging it back from Littlewell.
All right, Sam, I'll leave it to you. Should be arriving about 5 o'clock. Will you be here till then?
Well, I'm the stage manager, so it's my duty to be here.
Mr. Hinton.
Yes, I'm going. You'll lock up and take the key, Florrie.
I always do. Always interfering, Vickers.
Well, he's the producer.
I'm not just talking about pantomime. Did you hear that sermon of his last Sunday?
What about it?
Well, he were getting at me and Len.
In his sermon?
Oh, what about my mother, then?
I don't know anything about your mother.
Well, you know she's in a home, though. Sunnyside over by
Everybody
Skipton.
knows
Where, well, you just think. Vicar was saying about the old and lonely at Christmas. And how we should take 'em in so as they won't be lonely.
Huh?
Well, when Mr. Hinton said that, he were looking straight at me.
Oh, now, come.
Halfway back away, right underneath that tablet to Reuben Wells, deceased. He knew where I was sitting. You're not trying to tell me that were an accident?
Now, listen,
Besides, Mr. Hinton doesn't know my mother. He'd have thought twice about saying what he did if he had known her. And it's not like she's going to be alone, neither.
Oh, listen.
There are 24 old folk at Sunnyside. They have a nice time Christmas. Games, singing, the lot. I made it a business to find out. Mr. Hinton had no right to stand up in that pulpit insinuating.
Laurie, listen.
Anyway, you know as well as I do, we couldn't have mother to stay in our house. With 3 grown lads, it's too small as space.
Laurie Arnold! Will you listen to me for a minute? Now, I don't suppose that Mr. Hinton was referring to you personally for one single second. But if you think he was, then the thing to do is to go and have it out with him straight. Eh?
You're quite right. I'll tell him what you said.
I know, wait.
That dust can stay where it is. I'm going home to get Len's tea. Let me know when you've done, and I'll come and lock up.
Right, I expect the man to be out there working with the smells coming from this place. You look tired, Ma. Dolly not been helping you?
Oh, there's some things I'd rather do on my own. She was having tea upstairs with Matt. There's a cup in the pot if you want one.
It's time you let up.
Christmas week, you can't let up.
But you wouldn't even if somebody offered to help.
What time are you fetching Jessie?
Oh, another 10 minutes yet. At least we're doing what the vicar said. Taking someone in for Christmas. All right, vultures are gathering already for them.
They've had theirs.
You've not offered me one yet.
I was wondering how long you could restrain yourself.
Oh, why didn't you give me a shout? At least I could have got the bread up for you.
I'll manage.
Now, you sit down for 5 minutes and have a cup of tea. Come on.
I shan't be sorry to put the feet up tonight, I can tell you.
You ought to let Dolly take over a bit more.
A woman has her own way of doing things. Turn it up and give it a gentle tap.
Still be bread, however it comes out at tin.
How is anyone at home?
Auntie! Yes,
Max.
Jessie, what are you... I'm just coming to fetch you.
Well, there was an earlier train, so I caught it, and then I got a taxi.
Well, at least you're here. I'll make you a fresh pot of tea.
Not for me, you won't. Oh, you look tired out. That's you. Letting her do too much again, as usual. If I want a cup of tea, I'll make it. Right now, I just want to wash me hands. Now, where am I sleeping?
Well, it's not decided yet.
Oh, I bet it isn't. I can just imagine the argument that's been going on about it and all. Who's going to give up their bed for Auntie Jessie, right? Well, we'll settle that right now. There's no springs out on that sofa in your room, is there?
I'll take your bag up.
Thanks, Bonnie love.
There's some aired sheets in my room, Dolly. It's letting go down. Oh, don't bother, I'll come myself.
What with my great hearty niece to run around for you? You stay where you are.
I've never been one for resting till work's done.
Now, Annie, there's only one thing to do about that, and that's let somebody else do it for you. You and I, we're going to put up our feet this Christmas, and we're going to keep them up.
Oh, try and make her.
You could let Dolly do the cooking, you know. It'd do her good.
What, Christmas dinner and all?
I mean everything. All right, Ma? It's high time you sat back while others did donkey work.
Oh, I'd love to have a go. I would, really.
Oh, go on, Annie, why don't you?
I wouldn't know what to do with myself.
You and Aunt Jessie can sit back far in parlour and tell each other stories about Christmas when you were little. Now then, how about that? It's her first Christmas marriage, you know. She wants to show me what she can do.
All right, then.
You mean I can do it all? On my very own?
If that's what you want, I won't interfere. And you can start by getting your Aunt Jessie a cup of tea.
Right.
Then I'll take
Right, Jenny's going to give us a Christmas present.
All right. I expect she'll wait till we're nicely settled down for Christmas dinner.
Well, that's all right. Annie can cope with half while I'm dishing up. If she's letting me do the cooking.
I'll believe that when I see it. I reckon you lot caught her in a weak moment. The minute she gets her breath back, you won't get so much as a look in.
We'll see about that.
We don't want no squabbling in the kitchen over Christmas.
Well, a promise is a promise, and I've always wanted to do Christmas dinner for a big family. Hey, if she tries interfering, you'll have to come to my rescue.
What do? Tie her to a chair?
Don't get her busy out here. They say a change is as good as a rest. Know your words yet?
You must be joking.
It's only a couple of weeks now.
Donny, don't keep reminding me.
Someone getting cold feet?
I don't mind admitting it either. Kids have nightmares about it. But last night I dreamt I walked onto that stage, and not only did I not remember my words, they were doing a different pantomime. Woke up in a right sweat.
I have to stick to cows in future, Joe. I reckon I know your words better than you do anyway. They've heard them enough in the dust.
At least they're not a bad audience.
What, even when they turn their backs on you?
As long as they don't get uppity. Some changes I want to make next year, Matt. Some new ideas about grazing.
Don't forget, Matt, we're talking to the dairy management expert now.
Hey, it's a pity we couldn't send the cows on the course. They might come back giving twice as much milk.
I'll take over. You can get back to your scribbling.
Creative writing, if you don't mind, Mr. Wilkes, and I've done that.
Oh, sorry.
Hey,
Suit yourself.
I was thinking about Christmas dinner. You'll be going up to Emmerdale as usual, I suppose.
I wouldn't bank on it.
Well, you always go up there every Christmas.
Only this year I've not been invited.
Well, that's a bit peculiar, isn't it?
Oh, I wouldn't say so. There's Dolly up there this year, and her Aunt Jessie. I'm not one of the family.
Just you and me, together then, eh?
Would you like to go out somewhere, Amos?
Nay, Mr. Wilkes. You leave it to me.
Hello, Sam.
Oh,
What have you been up to?
I've been getting the stage ready for the pantomime. Oh.
Not by yourself.
Well, no, not entirely by myself. I've had the help of the vicar and the lads, of course.
Thirsty work being a foreman. Get yourself round that.
Thank you, Henry. Here we are. Thank you, Henry.
I'll have another in the...
Right, Len.
You're on Vicar's side at all, then, I say.
Of course I'm on Vicar's side. What are you on about?
Man in his position should have a sense of responsibility, not set it village against one another.
Len, you're getting as bad as your wife. I've had that...
I heard what you said about old folks being stuck away and forgotten. But you don't know my wife's mother. More contrary-minded
That'll
old...
be 16p.
And what were all this about spending less on presents and more on charity? What's it got to do with Vicar, what I give my lads for Christmas?
Happen you've got a guilty conscience.
That slander, that is. I can hear you up in court for saying things like that in public.
You best take Vicar to court and all, then.
Vicar's in a privileged position, innit? But I'll tell you this. If I thought I stood a chance, I'd be round to see my solicitor straight away, making us laughing stock at village. I can claim damages for that.
In the meantime, you owe me 16p. That's the sort of effect he has on me and all.
I thought we'd start off with a light soup, just as an appetizer.
With a drop of something in it, I hope.
Sherry.
Oh, Madeira's nicer.
Oh, what do you think, Annie?
You please yourself. You're doing it, not me.
Madeira, then.
What kind of soup?
Oh, somewhat special. I saw some game soup in Otten last week. I could get some of those.
Tin soup?
They're very good.
I can't remember the last time we had tin soup in this house. If we wanted soup, there was always plenty here to make it from.
But you don't mind?
I was just saying.
That's all right, then.
But if it's game soup you want, there's that stock from the carcass of the pheasant we had last week. If you're getting tins, you could add that to it.
Oh, right, I'll remember that.
We always use my mother's tablecloth for Christmas and big occasions. I'll fetch it.
Well, is that the cloth we had for Dolly's wedding?
I keep it in my drawer.
This isn't going to work, is it?
I don't see why not, Pet. We've only just started.
I know. I've got as far as the soup, and already it's Annie's pheasant soup on Annie's mother's family
Oh,
heirloom.
now, don't worry, Pet. After all, now, it's very hard to break the habit of 30-odd years.
Hey, well, hung it up. I wouldn't dare touch it. Oh, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Oh, this is cosy.
Bit of a nip out, eh?
Or bright moon. I'll have a whiskey, please.
Right you are.
There'll be a sharp frost later. This the only pub in the village?
Well, there's the malt shovel, if you like jukeboxes and a lot of noise.
This'll do me. Mr. Brearley?
My name's Wilkes.
Oh, only I saw the name over the door.
Oh, Mr. Brearley's busy upstairs. I'll fetch him for you if you like.
Oh, no, please. I've no doubt we shall meet later. Morris Westrop.
How do you do? You staying round here, are you?
Well, I hope to be, and, well, now that I've seen the inside of this place...
Well, you've not met the licensee yet. My name's Sam Pearson. Anything you want to know about the village, you can ask me.
Well, that's very kind of you.
May we ask, Mr. Westrop, what brings you to Beckendale, eh?
Oh, business.
Oh, that would be agricultural business, eh? Well, there's no else round here.
Well, what is there in Beckendale? The usual church, police station, village shop.
That's about the size of it.
Fine. We must have a chat sometime. Perhaps you could tell me the way to the vicarage.
Ah, it's first right, first... Well, look, I'll come with you.
Oh, good.
Night, Henry.
Nice, sir.
I'll bid you good night.
Good night, sir.
Who's been playing about with them lights again?
Never touched them.
There'll be 7 of us sitting down to dinner. Well, that's if Henry's coming.
Of course Henry's coming. He wouldn't miss it for worlds. Sorry we're so long. I put it in my chest.
Why, that really is a lovely cloth, Annie. Get away with your £1/2 won't be enough.
£1/2 of what?
Brandy butter. No, not if I'm serving it with Christmas puddings and mince pies. That's somewhat I could get done early and put it in the fridge. I'll do that tomorrow.
You'll have plenty to do with all you've planned. You can leave the brandy butter to me.
Why don't we go shopping in Houghton tomorrow? Because there's 1 or 2 bit things that I still have to get.
Right, let's do that. In that case, I'll get on with the brandy butter now.
You can't win, can you?
Look, Mother, what I've got. What have you got? A bag of beans. A bag of beans? I sold Daisy for this bag of beans. You what? Oh, don't worry, Mother. These are magic beans.
I've not let Doctor hear you. You might get put away.
Oh, I know everyone else's words better than my own.
Supper's in the oven.
Ah, thank you.
Scenery still standing, is it?
Well, why shouldn't it be?
You never walked back.
Of course I did. Not like it. The mud in the lane, it's all frozen under your feet. Aye, and do you know what? I can still see every star in the Great Bear now. That's a good eye test, that is.
You go walking over frozen ruts looking at stars, you'll fall flat on your face.
Yes, I was thinking, Matt. All those millions of stars, and us human beings, just a speck on one of them.
Well, there's one human being who's going to get his feet up.
I knew then what the vicar meant when he said we should all stand together and help each other.
All right.
Yes, now we're thinking about all the folk who'll be alone at Christmas.
You're not thinking of inviting half village to the farm for dinner, are you?
Nellie Ratcliffe, Amos, Mr. Hinton.
Well, talk to me while I'm finishing this. Only, once they've been relaxed...
Well, you know how it is, Vicar. Even though your remarks about the old folk weren't referring to anyone in particular, you were looking at me when you said them. And folks in Beckendale are very quick to latch onto a thing like that. So you do understand?
Yes, well, I, I hope most of my remarks have relevance for someone in particular.
In this case, if what I've said's troubled your conscience, I'm glad. If not, there's nothing to worry about.
Yes, but how do you think we feel having folks talking about us, accusing us of being unkind to my mother?
I don't know what you expect me to do about it, short of making an apology from the pulpit.
Will you be seeing her at all over Christmas?
Well, with 3 grown lads in the house to cook for,
Come on, Florrie, we're wasting us time here.
I don't think so. Something's been brought into the light, which otherwise would have been swept under the carpet. Florrie does a great deal for the church and for the village. Now, couldn't you both do something for our mother? Think about it, Mr. Arnold. And you, Florrie. Now, if you've nothing further to discuss, I'll go to answer the door.
Yeah, Vicar, there is something further. Florrie's not going to clean church no more. Not village hall.
I see. Excuse me.
What did you say that for? I like doing the cleaning.
Time to go home.
Look, he doesn't understand about my mother, and you can't blame him for that.
He doesn't know what she's like.
No, and you don't know what I'm like either.
Ah, well, you had no right to...
If you don't mind waiting a minute, Mr.
Westrop, Morris Westrop.
Yes, well, I'll just see my visitors out.
No more cleaning.
Then, if I can help you in any way...
I'm Thatcher's replacement, the new manager of NY Estates. There may be a great deal that you can do to help me.
Yeah, lead a hand if you got half village coming for dinner.
I thought Christmas was meant to be a family do.
Well, Henry's not family.
He is? Well, almost. I just can't see Amos fitted in, that's all. Oh, or the vicar for that matter. I mean, Ma, I don't want to spend Christmas watching what I'm saying all the time.
Why are you doing that? I thought my wife would cook for a week.
You can't call making brandy butter cooking.
Hey, give her permission, did you?
I mean, you might as well hire the village hall and invite everyone.
I'm talking about what the vicar said
Now,
last
look
Sunday,
here,
Joe.
Ma. I thought it was agreed that Dolly was going to do all
Now stop
the
it.
Christmas...
Stop fretting, all of you. Listen.
Peace on earth, goodwill to men.
God and sinners reconciled, joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies, with angelic hosts proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King.
Intrigue and inner conflicts for the friends and families in As the World Turns, next on Sky Soap.